Hello, and welcome to this conversation. I'm Mansa Klinar. I'm a whole person life coach for highly sensitive people. And today I'm joined with my dear friend who will introduce herself. But first, I would like to say when I think of energy, she is the one I think of because I have learned so much about energy, about Reiki, about channeling, about hypnotherapy, about a lot of things from her. So I'm happy she joined me today, and I'm sure we will have a great conversation. Without further ado, Evdoxia Stoupi. Hi, Evdoxia. Thank you.
Hi, Mom, and thank you so much for your warm welcome. And I'm happy to be doing this conversation and honored to be doing this conversation with you. And thank you for mentioning, my energy work. It is what changed my life, literally changed my life. And it's my life mission to spread the word about energy and how it can affect our lives. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about it.
You're welcome. Let's first clear something else. So I mentioned I'm a life coach, but you are a special kind, not just a coach. You are a healer, a teacher, but you have a line when you introduce yourself.
Well, Mansa, you know me. I'll introduce myself publicly for the first time as a healer and a teacher. I am a life coach certified by the International Coach Federation. I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I'm a Reiki Master. I channel. I'm an Enneagram expert. I do all these things and I combine all these disciplines in my work. But for me to be able to do this, what allows me to do this is all the energy work that I've done on me and I do on other people. This is where I start. So the energy is like energy work is at the basis, it's the foundation for me. We all have, we find our paths and we follow our paths. But when it comes to me, energy work is behind everything I do.
Okay. So I wanted for you to mention vital energy.
Okay. Actually, my kind of coaching, I call it intelligent, vital energy coaching. And why I call it like this, it's I-key coaching. It's because I first work with people's ki. Ki is the Japanese word for vital energy. In Chinese, it's qi. In Hinduism, it's prana. We're all talking about the same thing, but since I'm trained in Reiki, which is a Japanese method of well-being, that's why I call my method I-key coaching, intelligent vital energy coaching.
Okay. So since my specialty is high sensitivity, energy is very important. What or how would you explain energy to someone who cannot grasp the concept or idea?
Thank you for bringing me back to high sensitivity. High sensitivity, from what I've learned from you, because you're my teacher when it comes to high sensitivity, it's the how people perceive stimuli, how their nervous system reacts to stimuli from the external world. And the way we perceive the external world has to go through our energy field. So energy work is especially useful for highly sensitive people. Any kind, I call myself sensitive to energy. As you know, I haven't identified myself like I have so many high sensitive traits. and maybe I am highly sensitive, but what I know about myself, I'm sensitive to energy. And having worked and talked with highly sensitive people, I know that highly sensitive people are very, very sensitive to energy. So when I talk about energy work, we all have like an energy field around us. In some cultures, we call them like an etheric body or our aura, like there's so many ways to call it. But in layman's terms, like for me, the simplest way to explain it to people so that they don't think that I talk about weird new age stuff is like energy field. We all have our own energy field that surrounds our body. And even for the skeptics, the ones who say, what are you talking about? What energy field? Our bodies emit heat. Our bodies emit heat. So heat is a form of energy, and this heat is emitted all over our bodies. So if someone like measures the temperature here, like without touching us, it is affected by our own heat. So this, at least for the skeptics, think of it as like the thermal energy around your body, but it's so much more than that. So that's how, plus, apart from the energy field, we have the energy that circulates within us. Sometimes there are blockages, and certain blockages create or cause certain issues, health issues, mental issues, emotional issues. Uh, our mind, our body, and our spirit, which is the energy, are intertwined. Like we cannot ignore our energy body, our spirit body.
Yeah. Well, I hope skeptics are a bit less skeptic now. Thank you for this explanation. How would you explain this energy interaction, let's say between us now, even though we're not physically present?
Okay, physical presence has nothing to do with the exchange of energy because we're all connected. I use not an example, but I will ask our viewers to either read the book or watch the film, like the Celestial Prophecy, where they explain very, very clearly the type of exchange we can have with other people concerning our energies, how our energies interact. But before I talk about how our energies interact, can I talk about how our own energy can behave?
Of course.
Okay.
Thank you.
So our energy field surrounds our body, and it can protect us from external stimuli, from other energies coming from people or objects that may be charged with some kind of residual energy. So when we feel good and fine, our energy field is quite wide, and it encapsulates our physical body. And there we have no problems. And we know this is the case because when this happens, when we're well with a healthy energy field around us, we walk in the street, chin up, shoulders back, like we strut, ta, 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 ta. At the same time, if our energy levels are very, very low and our energy field is very, very weak, it means that it's actually so small that it contains our body. And that's why we look down and we're slouched, slouched shoulders, and we can't sit straight or talk straight. So the energy field around us can affect our body, but with the work we can do with our body, we can affect the energy field around us. So when our energy field is healthy and strong and wide, when we interact with other people, we're less prone to feel tired. I know that that's my case too. One of the traits that I can identify with is contact with people that leaves you fatigued or exhausted, because highly sensitive people are very, very sensitive to energies. And if they don't know how to deal with their own energy, then they might absorb other people's energy, which is not compatible with theirs, or someone else can, in a way, steal their energy, like drain them from their energy. And that's why social interaction is so exhausting for highly sensitive people. And for me as well, it used to be exhausting until I found out how to reinforce my vital energy and shield myself from external, I don't want to call them attacks, because it's not an attack. It's the other people are not trying to attack us. It's what happens with energies. If someone is really, really low on energy, they seek an energy source. So if you're weak, you're easy prey to them, but they're not doing it on purpose. So anyway, yeah, I could babble for, I'm sorry, I could blub for 4 hours. Stop me.
Well, I won't if it's interesting. So, yeah, would you like to add more?
No, so this interaction, like if our energy field around us is strong and solid, then interaction with other people won't be as draining anymore, or it won't be draining at all. At the same time, if we have a healthy, like energy shield around us, energy field which shields us, people who used to feed off on our energy, they will just go away. They won't feel like spending time with us anymore. So even our social life might change because we'll attract healthier people. Uh, yeah, and maybe one personal example, I'm so sensitive to energies that I can't go into a movie theater without protection. Like I have to reinforce my energy field before I walk into a movie theater or any crowded place. I'm so sensitive to energies that if I don't, I wilt like a flower. I go like this and I start yawning and I can't think clearly, and maybe I have like tears coming down my eyes, but without crying or anything. I'm drained of my energy, so I've trained myself to protect myself before, like I prepare myself before I enter into such situations.
Great point. Thank you for explaining how you feel so we can all know or recognize if this happens to us. Would you be willing to share a quick tip or two of how to do this?
Okay, now what I'm going to share with you has to do also with self-care. What I do for me, it takes time. And sometimes, I work with lots of people who are like me. Maybe they don't identify as highly sensitive, but they are sensitive to energy. And I say, in a way, it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift because we understand so much. And we can offer so much to the world, but it can be a curse if we don't know how to protect ourselves from it. And I tell them that unfortunately or fortunately, people like us have to work on self-care. We cannot ignore self-care. We just can't. So there's extra work on our part, because for me to be able to go about my day and be as vibrant as you see me today and like smiling and full of beams, every morning I have my routine and I take at least 45 minutes per day. It's between 45 minutes and 1.5 hours every morning. I prepare myself before I get out into the world or before I interact with other people. And I do it without fail. And I might miss out. I usually wake up very, very early to be able to do that. But I realized that what I do every morning, okay, first of all, I love it. I can't, like, I'm addicted to it. It feels so good. But if I don't do it, then I feel sick, or I can't work, or I can't share with the world my gifts. We all have our gifts, but if we feel fatigued and drained, we can't share them. So it's an investment. Every morning I invest at least 45 minutes of self-care, specific self-care in myself, to be able to face the world as an energy sensitive person. And I'm sure it's the same for highly sensitive people. You are energy sensitive if you're highly sensitive. So
Yes.
do you want to know my routine?
Yes, I wanted to point this out. Yeah.
I'll tell you about my routine, but my routine doesn't mean it's the best routine. It's the routine that works for me. And each and every one of us needs to find the routine that works for them. So there are many teachers, spiritual teachers, that say this is the best practice and this is the best technique. Although I teach Reiki and I believe it's the best technique, it's the best technique for me and for many other people, but it doesn't mean that it will work for everyone. So experiment, find what works for you, but don't be fooled. You can't say, I'll do nothing and I'll be okay. No, you have to do something. Just find what works for you. So what I do every morning, it's at least 45 minutes of Reiki and sometimes meditation. My Reiki is a regular thing. I do it every day, but some days, if I have more time, I might add yoga to it, meditation, breathing exercises, and three more things that I do, not only every morning, but before any interaction that I think might be energy challenging. I do my grounding, my centering, and my protection bubble techniques.
Okay. So before we go to my next question, I would just like to ask you, for those who don't practice Reiki, what do you think would be the most crucial parts or elements of their self-care, maybe in the morning or throughout the day?
I believe that nobody should start their day without grounding, without centering. And then if they are to meet other people, either in person or the way we meet, by the way, Mansa, I have no protection when I meet you. I never have protection. Like your energy is so, like we're so compatible. So the protection bubble, but grounding and centering gives us clarity to know when we will need our protection bubble later in the day. There are many grounding techniques. You can find grounding meditation online on YouTube. You can just walk barefoot, on the grass or, on the soil, on sand. Centering, it's the same thing. There are many centering techniques. I usually teach my students or clients the grounding and centering techniques that I use when I teach Reiki, because you don't have to be a Reiki practitioner or master to do these meditations.
So I know you have an ebook about centering.
Thank you. I forgot about my ebook, which is free, by the way. Anyone can download it by subscribing to my website, subscribing to my newsletter, actually. Another amazing centering technique, yes, it's acupressure. Like I don't know if many people are familiar with acupressure. Everybody knows acupuncture. There are certain points in our body, and the practitioner sticks needles in them. In acupressure, we stimulate the same points, but using our finger or sometimes like a small stick, and we stimulate some points. So this centering exercise, I think, Mansa, you've used it, right? What was your experience with this sensor, which only takes 3 minutes, by the way?
Yeah, I've done this a long time ago. Well, a while ago, so I cannot really share feedback about it. But I will put the link to your website and to the ebook, and this is a reminder for me to check it out again.
Okay, yeah, thank you. It's very, very simple. Like you stimulate 3 points on your body for it's 3 minutes in total, and it brings you back to yourself. It gives you clarity. It gives you as I was telling you before, Manta, I was with a highly sensitive person earlier today, and she had a meltdown yesterday, and she was feeling overwhelmed today. And I just like we just did, you know, this protocol, this acupressure protocol, and the first thing that she said was like, "Oh, I feel so energized," and she left with a big smile on her face. So it's really worth trying. But like for those who want to try it, all the details are in my ebook. You have to, like when you start doing it, you have to do it for at least a week to start seeing the difference. But you can do it before a difficult phone call, before a meeting, and actually be aware which people, which kind of situations drain you. Like be mindful, observe, and then you'll know when you need your shields.
Which brings us to the shield. Would you be willing to take us through the exercise?
Yes, of course. Do you want me to describe? Yeah, I'll just describe it first. Think of a soap bubble. We all know soap bubbles. We used to play with them as kids. So they're transparent, they are translucent, and they allow light to go through. So what we do is we create a bubble around us that looks like a soap bubble, but is a lot more powerful, because like you can make a soap bubble disappear just like this, but not the protection bubble I'm going to talk to you about. So you close your eyes and you visualize, actually you feel all the love that you have in your heart for yourself and for the entire world, because when you protect yourselves, you protect the world. Whatever you do for yourself, everybody benefits. The people around you, even people who are thousands of miles away from you. Every time we work on ourselves, we work on the planet. Okay, that's a different story, but I had to say that. So you focus on your heart, you close your eyes, you focus on your heart, and you start feeling the love that you have for yourself, for your kids, for your pets, for nature, for everything that exists. And when you feel this love, um, impregnate you, like it's everywhere in your body, and you feel this pleasant heat, then you imagine a bubble starting from your heart and expanding to the point that it covers your whole body. And this bubble is so powerful because it is a bubble made out of love, and love is the strongest energy that there is. Nothing can conquer love. So it's not, you don't make this bubble to hurt others. You don't make this bubble to deprive others of something. You make it out of love for yourselves and for others. Because the more you protect yourselves, the more you protect others, even those who feed on your energy. If you're not their energy source, they might start to think about, okay, what's happening. You might give them, sometimes feeding someone all the time is not good for them. They won't learn how to do it for themselves. So this very strong, powerful bubble around you protects you, and you can visualize it anytime you want. Sometimes, like I do it every morning, and I also do it before I meet people who are challenging. I do that. And sometimes I forget, or someone who's not challenging is having a bad day. So I go to the meeting unprepared, and then I feel, because I feel it in my body, I feel this, I don't know, it's like poison, or like I start losing my energy, something, oh my God, okay, my protection bubble right now. So I do it right then and there. And it doesn't have to take a long time to do it. It's only a matter of intention. So if you've done it once, then you can just visualize it. You don't have to do the whole process. You visualize it around it. And a funny fact, when I first, sometimes, when I first learned about this protection bubble, and when it was about negative people who were complaining about everything, you know, I could see there was like lightning coming out of them, but bouncing off, like pew, 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 like everything, you know, that came towards me was deflected. And I almost, you know, I had a smile, and, you know, the person was complaining. I was like almost laughing at the way I saw that nothing they'd say would touch me, and it was all deflected. So if I forget to do it, I'll do it even in, you know, after I've started feeling down. And but it usually takes me 10 minutes to feel completely well. I mean, if I do the bubble after I have been attacked, it usually takes me, like, after I create the bubble, it takes me 10 minutes to feel good. But I feel good, and then I visualize that, which is so funny. And I'm sure if you practice it, you'll see it too at some point.
So cool. My question is, so you mentioned that we first have to feel the love.
Mhm.
So would your recommendation be to start practicing in a neutral environment so we become skilled at it? Because I'm thinking, okay, someone will listen to this and then will come into a setting when there's anger and he's or she, they are frightened. So with this fear, it's hard to shift into love. What would your suggestion be?
Great point, Mans. Thank you for pointing. Great point. That's what I said. It's part of my morning ritual. I do it every morning. I've just come out of bed. I haven't been in contact with other people or things that might frighten me, anger me. So I'm receptive, and I can connect to the love that I have for other people. So that's why I think that it should be like a daily practice every morning. So then when we need to recall it, we can recall it during the day without having to do the whole process of the love, because we created it in the morning. And we can just visualize it without having to feel the love. It's already created.
All right. Good strategy. Okay. We will probably close soon, but I have another question because I know you have a switch. Would you like to share a bit about this?
Yes, yes. As I said, I'm very, very sensitive to energies, but it's more than that. Mansa mentioned that I channel. So I channel people's higher self, and sometimes I channel their spirit guides, or both. So when this channel opened, I mean, actually, I've had it since I was a child. I used to get messages from deceased relatives to relay to my parents or other relatives, and I didn't understand that it was weird. You know, I just said, "Oh, you know, Grandpa said blah blah blah." When I was 13, I was so scared of it because in my family, yeah, I mean, it was completely disregarded. I mean, how can someone not be curious how a little girl would say things like that? But anyway, at 13, I was so scared that I closed the channel. I was so scared that I didn't want to see anymore. So when the channel was reopened, oh my God, I was flooded with information all the time. And I was a lawyer. I used to be a lawyer. Actually, I'm still a lawyer, but anyway, I don't practice law anymore. And a client would come into my practice and they tell me things, and I would see that they were lying, or I would see other things. And for about 6 months, I felt schizophrenic. I thought that there was something wrong with me. But anyway, fortunately, thanks to my channeling teacher, who insisted that I learn Reiki, I developed a switch. So I have this switch and I don't receive any information, or I don't receive any energy. And sometimes I'm not curious as a person, and I know how to, if I call it a gift, um, uh, I'll do a video about gifts, but if I call it a gift, I really want to use it wisely. And if someone doesn't want me to know things, I would never pry and try to find out. Never. But that switch helped me live my life like a normal person, because it was overwhelming receiving so many informations all at once, which is, I think it's exactly the same for highly sensitive people. You receive so much information at the same time, like your nervous system, or our nervous system, I don't know, is so sensitive that we receive information so much. So we need the switch. So I have this switch, I switch it off and I don't receive anything. And sometimes people say, but didn't your intuition tell you that? That's like obvious. Said, no, but I'd rather not sense something and lead a normal life than sensing too much all the time. So a switch can be developed, and you have to find the practice that helps you find the switch. For me, it's Reiki, Reiki and intention, but there is a switch. There's a switch.
Great. Thank you for sharing. I'm switching between gallery view and speaker view. That's why my actions are a bit weird.
But thank you so much for letting me talk about what I'm so passionate about, energy work before everything, energy work before hypnotherapy, energy work before coaching, energy work before channeling. It's the foundation for me. So thank you for giving me the chance to reach more people to talk about energy.
You're welcome, and thank you for sharing. I have a sense we will be recording another one.
Anytime.
I'll wait for the questions if people have questions. But to close in style, what would your words for our listeners and viewers be regarding energy, whatever you feel it's most important?
I just repeat what I tell, my students or my clients who are sensitive, either to energy or highly sensitive. It's a gift. It's just that you need to work a little harder than other people, but the benefits are so much more. Like, see it as a gift, but nurture it, invest in it. How? By protecting your energy, by protecting yourself. I know that highly sensitive people have you have so much to give to the world, but in order to be able to do so, you have to preserve your energy and keep your energy levels high and protect yourselves from from the outside world or from the overwhelm. So do the work, like self-care. Find the practices that help you maintain your energy levels high so that you can fulfill your mission. If you're born as highly sensitive, I know you have a mission which is very, very important. So just invest in yourselves and in your mission.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So for everyone, energy is important. I would like to add, energy is everything. Like this or like this. But we can protect by taking care of our energy. So Evdoxia mentioned a few things about it. Well, a lot, but if you live with a few things, maybe you can live with this. Take responsibility for yourself into your own hand. Take care of yourself, pay attention to your energy, be aware. Grounding, centering, protecting with a protection bubble, finding a practice or more practices that suit you. Do something to take care of yourself. That's the most important thing, I'd say. So do you think we are complete for today, or would you like to add something else?
You have summed it so beautifully and so elegantly, Mansa. You're perfect.
Mm. Great. So thank you for your wisdom and your energy. Thanks for joining us. I will put the links below this video. And thank you all for watching. And we'll see you when we see you. Bye.